Folks, welcome to the Contrarian Rant. I'm making a separate video aside from the Contrarian Report due to the fact that what is going on now is just so scary to me. I can't put it into words. It's hard to describe. This past week, the Federal Reserve once again helped stave off disaster over in Europe. You may be saying to yourself, this is the first time I'm hearing about any type of help of the Federal Reserve. You're right. This is the first one that we know of. It took years under the Freedom of Information Act to find out exactly how much money the Federal Reserve was lending over to European banks. Now get a load of this. Royal Bank of Scotland, October 08, 84.5 billion. UBS Securities, Swiss Bank, 1108. 77.2 billion. Deutsche Bank of Germany, the strongest economy in that zone. November 08, 66 billion. Barclays Bank in December 08, 64.9 billion. Credit Suisse, August 08, 60.8 billion. Dexia, it's a French, Belgian, Luxembourg bank. In December of 08, 58.5 billion. BNP Paribas, it's a French bank. April 08, 29.3 billion. Hypo Real Estate, German bank. I never even heard of this one before. Hypo Real Estate, 1108, 28.3 billion. And Fortis, which is a French Luxembourg bank, in April of, scratch that. February 09, 26.3 billion. That adds up to $495 billion, our money, that has already gone over to Europe. Now, what you might be saying is, it probably helped save those banks. Well, you're right, for that time. On the list with these banks are the U.S. banks that received help. Just because you get a loan from the Federal Reserve doesn't mean you're going to survive. Wachovia, forced out of business by the FDIC, received billions upon billions of dollars. Merrill Lynch, forced out of business, received about $60 billion from the Federal Reserve. Lehman Brothers received billions of dollars, forced out of business. Bear Stearns, another one, forced out of business. Just because the Federal Reserve lent these banks this money does not mean that it's going to save them. And the fact that they had to come out this week and once again provide discounts to borrowings from we, the people of the United States of America, is scary. Now let's move on. Beyond this, the markets rallied on this, and I'm going to tell you why I got out of a lot of long positions on Friday. And you can watch the other video if you want to know why. Let's take a trip down memory lane. We all know this character. This is Senator Dodd, Connecticut. Now apparently Senator Dodd this is a side note, he's now a lobbyist for the Motion Picture Association of America. More liberal left-wing crap is going to be forced upon our members of Congress by this thug. This piece of human scum, Barney Frank, resigned from office this week, pretty much the high point of my week. John Corzine, former Senator of the United States of America, former Governor of New Jersey, CEO of Goldman Sachs, thought to be the next Treasury Secretary after young Timmy Geithner, the tax cheat, buddies with Barack Obama. His company, MF Global, of which he is CEO of, went bankrupt. He's being subpoenaed now to testify before Congress because there's over $1.2 billion missing. Now, if and when, what I'm pointing to here is this is crony capitalism. This is crony capitalism. It is undermining the lining of this country. And I'm going to point to this gentleman here, this piece of human scum. This is Mark Rich. Mark Rich was indicted by Rudolph Giuliani when he was a federal prosecutor back in the 80s for He was a commodities broker, no surprise there. What did MF Global do? They were clearing house for commodities trades for the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Now, Mark Rich, he received a pardon from the Clinton administration. I'm going to predict that if they do, in fact, indict John Corzine, it will be the fastest trial you will ever see. And the question then becomes why? Why do I say that? Well, who was the Attorney General that recommended the pardoning of Mark Rich, who sold oil to the Iranians during the embargo? He undermined American policy, yet he was provided clemency. And it's because his wife donated money to the Clinton Library, the Democratic Party. Millions upon millions of dollars. Why do I think it's going to be the fastest trial ever? It's because Barack Obama, as it stands right now, is losing an election against Newt Gingrich. If, in fact, he does appear to lose the next election, you won't have this guy around after Election Day. This is our Attorney General, Eric Holder. Who was the Attorney General that recommended the pardoning of Mark Rich under the Clinton administration? You got it. Eric Holder. Let's take a look at these faces. Dodd of Connecticut. Frank of Massachusetts. Corzine of New Jersey. Barack Obama. They are all liberal Democrats and, in my opinion, anti-American. These two thugs were the proximate cause of the beginning. They put in motion policies that were able to, that forced upon banks the requirement to loan money to people that couldn't repay it. They set the environment. And of course, the banks, being the thugs that they are, took advantage of it. So we need to really, really stay nimble here in this market. And we need to understand that the crony capitalism that is taking place is really ripping away at the fiber of the U.S. economy, the global economy, just life as we know it here in America. Now, I watched an interview with one of the attorneys representing the customers of MF Global. And the bank that is dominating the bankruptcy proceedings in the MF Global case is none other than J.P. Morgan Chase. Apparently, J.P. Morgan Chase must have a lot to lose in this bankruptcy proceeding because they are all over it. They are really running the show inside the bankruptcy court. And take a look at J.P. Morgan Chase, where it's trading. Had a good week last week. Take a look at the top and tail here. Take a look at the 50-week, this is a weekly chart, 50-week moving average ready to cross below the 200-week moving average. The last time that this occurred was back here in November 2008. Look what happened subsequent to that. In fact, on a monthly chart, J.P. Morgan Chase hasn't traded above its 200-month moving average since September. This is a bank in some serious trouble, and I don't know whether the public gets it yet. And if you take a look at my Contrarian Report commentary, you'll see I got out of the banks last week. It had in part to do with once again, the intervention by the Federal Reserve into Europe. Something is going on over there, and it's something dramatic. There's going to need to be a sacrificial lamb. I don't know who it's going to be, whether it be a sovereign nation, whether it be a large bank, something is going to have to suffer. And when they collapse, it's gonna send shockwaves, Lehman-like, throughout the global economy, and that's what they're trying to do right now, is trying to prevent another Lehman Brothers. A fellow member sent me this link to Ann Barnhart. She's a broker, futures and options broker. Barnhart, I believe it's Barnhart Capital. And I urge you to listen to this interview, because I had a sickening feeling when I read this intervention. Although the markets read it as good, I read it as, I'm a contrarian. What is going on over there? Why, once again, must we backstop Europe? How bad is it? And it's got to be pretty goddamn bad. So I urge you to listen to the interview with Ann Barnhart, because this is forwarded to me by a fellow member of the Contrarian Trader, and it's one of the values of being a member. You have all these thoughts and opinions. This is not the stock trading robot where you get 3 stock picks a day and may or may not work out for you. This is a group of people that share ideas, information. And this interview was like a nail in the coffin, man. If she is only 25% right in what she says, there is a major event on the horizon in this country. So in all actuality, as I was taking longs off on Friday afternoon, I was beginning to open up adding to short positions. So if you want to know about those trades that we discussed last week, take a look at the Contrarian Report. I'm going to post this one first, but expect the Contrarian Report to come on later in the day. And to members, I will be sending out the week ahead commentary to you, discussing our strategy as we plan on navigating these waters. And the indicators that I'm looking at that are telling me to, A, at a minimum, head to the sideline, sit in cash, B, add to short positions. Talk to you soon.